this out at me is like how they describe New York's New York.
Yeah.
It's not just like crime-ridden, it's like drowning in this robot nightmare. Like corporations are turning people into these pawns, punk bot populated palaces.
That's
it's pretty bleak.
You have a bleak picture. Yeah.
The latest from the Panic Podcast.
Buckle up, everybody. We are diving headfirst into a city where even breathing is a luxury.
And you guys out there have been following along, so you know we're in New York's New York with Panic. You know, those professional anarchy nihilists in crime.
I mean, the whole thing kicks off with Cathode Ray, who's still stuck in that TV.
Of course.
But he's figured out a way to get back at ZOYA, our secret agent hero. Yeah, he creates this thing called the Panic Punk Bot, a robot designed to cause chaos and get revenge.
And it can turn humans into machines, right?
Exactly. So now there's this whole army of cyber creatures running around.
It's like a cyborg nightmare. Makes you think twice about all the tech we use, right?
No kidding. And then there's this whole panic ballet of New York's New York thing where transformed office buildings come to life.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. They were like breakdancing skyscrapers.
I know, right? But it really shows you how Panic is trying to totally disrupt everything, turn even buildings into weapons.
And they're after the city's air factory this time.
If they destroy that, millions will be in trouble, nowhere to breathe.
Talk about high stakes. So remember that scene at the Maximum Air Factory where Stevie's hanging over that giant intake fan?
Oh man, my heart was racing.
Stevie's hanging above this giant intake fan at the Maximum Air Factory.
No.
ZOYA's freaking out.
Right.
Trying to work the manual controls.
Oh my gosh.
Like he's about to fall in.
That's talk about pressure.
Yeah, if the air factory gets damaged, it's game over for everyone.
Oh wow.
Suffocation for the whole city.
So, first things first. DADDIO stands for Deputized Agents Defending Democracy International Organization.
A mouthful, right? But it's that name, that acronym, DADDIO, that really makes you wonder.
Are they serious? Are they playing with us? It's almost like they're hiding in plain sight. You know, like using irony as camouflage.
It's possible. Think about it. If your opponent underestimates you, you already have an advantage. And that name, it certainly doesn't scream dangerous global force.
True. But then you look at their top agent, ZOYA, and things get even more interesting.
Her weapon of choice is definitely not what you'd expect.
Yeah, yo-yo combat. Doesn't exactly sound like the stuff of spy thrillers, does it?
Not on the surface. But maybe that's the point. Imagine facing ZOYA, expecting a gun or a knife, and she whips out a yo-yo.
I'd be stunned. Totally thrown off guard.
Exactly. And that split second of disbelief, that disruption of your expectations, could be all she needs.
Clever. Like psychological warfare almost.
She's gonna get sucked in. Is that how it ends for Stevie?
But can a yo-yo really be a weapon?
Well, let's not forget that historically, some of the most effective weapons have been those that were initially dismissed or underestimated. Look at the use of war elephants in ancient battles, or the introduction of gunpowder in medieval Europe. Totally changed the game.
So you're saying ZOYA's yo-yo could be like a modern-day equivalent?
Potentially, yeah. And think about the actual physics of yo-yo tricks. Incredible speed, precision, manipulation of momentum. Those are principles you find in martial arts, too.
Never thought of it that way. So a skilled yo-yo user could theoretically strike pressure points, disarm opponents, create diversions.
Precisely. So maybe we shouldn't be so quick to dismiss Daddy-O name and all.
And then we've got Stevie Washington, who's like this angry youth.
Oh, right.
And he's branded with this phrase, born to die.
Huh. But ZOYA, think fast, uses her yo-yo in this totally unexpected way.
Oh, really?
Manages to pull Stevie back from the edge.
Wow.
Just in time.
What a close call. That's ZOYA always thinking on her feet. But saving Stevie is just the beginning. They come face to face with a whole warehouse full of punk bots.
Controlled by a sentient robot building.
You heard that right. The whole building is like one giant robot brain.
Whoa, that's next level creepy. So how do they even begin to fight that?
Well, they figure out that if they could take out the warehouse's communication antenna, they could cut off cathode rays control over the punk bots.
So like cutting off the head of the snake?
Yeah, but will they be able to pull it off? This sentient robot warehouse is,
Right, this is like weaponized technology, you know? Someone deliberately using it for bad.
Exactly. Cathode ray, he's not just trying to win, he wants to control everyone, turn them into machines.
It's a total power trip.
And it makes you realize that this is about something bigger than just stopping one bad guy.
You mean it's about panic, like the whole organization?
Exactly. They're like a twisted version of a corporation.
All about profit and power, no matter who gets hurt.
Right. And the fact that they can get away with so much, it makes you wonder who else is involved.
Like there's something bigger going on behind the scenes.
It's pretty disturbing to think about.
Yeah, it's not just about cathode ray and ZOYA anymore. There's this whole system of corruption.
Absolutely. It's a lot to take in. We have a shadowy organization, a seemingly playful name, a dedication to defending democracy in a world where the threats are increasingly complex and difficult to define. Defending democracy sounds pretty broad. What kind of threats are we talking about here?
Well, think about what you've been researching lately. Misinformation campaigns, cyber attacks, the erosion of public trust in institutions.
Right, these aren't threats you can just bomb into submission.
Exactly. They require a different approach. Daddy-O, DADDIO, with its unconventional tactics and agents like ZOYA, they seem to be operating on a different kind of battlefield.
So less about traditional military force and more about information warfare, manipulation, covert operations.
Precisely. And in that context, a yo-yo wielding agent might be exactly what's needed. Someone who can operate under the radar, use unexpected methods, and disrupt the enemy's thinking.
How do you fight a whole army of punkwads in a sentient building?
That's a good question. It all comes down to those communication antennas, right?
If they can destroy them, cathode ray loses control.
But it's not going to be easy. He's not just going to let them do it.
Yeah, I bet he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Speaking of surprises, where's Rudy Blackheart's been in all this?